you know, I really didn't know how to act. You know,
They really
you know,
get me either. Me
yeah,
either.
I was on one. I heard
Don't be
about this
mad at
story.
yourself. Me either.
Yeah, I heard about your story where you was taking $50,000 out the bank every day. You know,
Every day, man, I
yeah.
ran through
So
millions. My asshole got this tight, Shyne.
yeah,
When I went
so
to the bank and the man told me, yo, I'm sorry, Mr.
yeah,
Joe.
yeah.
There's no more
So
money in here.
yeah, you know, so we recorded that record '99 because '98, you know, I was just, you know, having fun, you know, being an 18-year-old with $1 million. You know, but at the end of '98, I'll never forget, you know, I was very much into the R&B, the superstar R&B girls. You know, I'm not going to say any names, but there was a particular R&B girl, and she was a superstar. You know, she was young, you know, had like the #1 record song in the world, you know, for weeks at a time. And she was, you know, she was on another level. And, you know, we had a little relationship, you know, but I was young. I was from Brooklyn, and I thought that the world was about me. And I never forget, you know, we had an argument, and it was coming to the end of '98. And she was like, listen, you ain't sell one record. I don't know who you think you are, but your little Range Rover and your little platinum Rolex and your little condo in Fort Lee don't mean nothing. I sold
Woo!
tens of millions of records. You ain't sell one record. And that hit me like that. That struck a chord. That, you know, that really spoke to me. And it was good. I'm happy that it happened, and I thank her for that happening because that woke me up. And that let
Is
me
she
know
still
that,
alive, Shyne?
yeah,
Is she
yeah,
still alive?
yeah, she's a legend. She had TV shows, she had movies, she sold, you know, tens of millions of
I
records.
seen her
She's
on
still
Rikers
alive.
Island when I went to see you. She was sitting on your lap.
Yeah, so listen,
When I went to visit you on Rikers
not
Island,
that
she
one.
was sitting on
Not
not that
not
one.
not that one. No,
God
no.
damn, Shyne.
Yeah.
Man,
But but
it
but
was
the
more than
moral,
that.
well, listen, I'm married with a beautiful wife.
I
You know,
know
God bless my
yo,
wife.
listen, Shyne, we just
God
taking a
bless my
walk through
daughter.
memory lane. I see the
Yeah,
family every day. I see the wife,
yes,
the
yes,
baby. God bless them.
yes.
We the
So
most
we
respectful
just putting
people
it
in the
in
world.
perspective. We putting in perspective how I got to the Bad Boys song, the journey, because it was a journey. Like I said, you know, I was young, millionaire, didn't know what to do, thought $1 million was a lot of money, didn't realize $1 million is nothing. But this R&B superstar, and there was another rap superstar, we ain't gonna say who she is, they both put me, you know, in check and put me in perspective and let me realize that I'm not here just to have, you know, a nice watch or a nice car. I'm here to be a legend. You know, when it's said and done, you know, whether I sell tens of millions of records, you know, I want to make classic albums. I need to distinguish myself. I need to establish, shine the brand that could live forever, that could be exactly where we are right now, which is 20 years later. We celebrating the Shine album September 26th. And I'm a hip hop legend. You know, I put out 2 classic albums. I might have never even put out an album if it wasn't for those encounters where people, you know, told me about myself, and I realized at that moment in time what I wanted to be. So when the ball dropped, 1999, 1998, December 31st, that was it. I said, listen, no more Cristal, no more buying out the bar, no more none of that. Like, I was so crazy. You know, me and Puff is cool now. We've reconciled. At that time, I was so crazy. I was such a crazy Brooklyn kid. I used to try to talk to his girlfriend. You
Oh,
know, I might have even snuck off with one of his, you know, favorite girlfriends. Um, that's how out of it I was as a young boy.
wait a minute. Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah.
This is a Joe remote moment. Like, will we know one of these the girlfriend?
I'm not gonna say who it is. You have to ask him off the record and let him tell you the story. Maybe he'll come on after this. Because like I said, me and
Cause
Puff
you
is
know
all
this.
right. I spoke to Puff maybe like 2
All right,
months ago. He supports my
I saw
candidacy
y'all good. He
in the House
supporting
of
what you're
Representatives.
doing.
That's my guy.
Okay, so let's spin it and say, you in Jamaica, y'all shooting this video. You got Wolf, rest in peace, with you.
Yeah.
You got the goons with you. They
Yeah.
chasing the Benz. This is an iconic moment in hip hop. What was that like, being a young dude, $1 million in the bank account, having some shit like this out?
You know, at that point, it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the ego. It was all about the art. It was all about, me making the greatest records, and I wanted to go down in the annals of hip hop history. I wanted to be, one of the greatest ever. And that's what I was chasing, so I wanted to make timeless classic music. So before I got to Jamaica, I had to get on Funk Master Flex. I'll never forget, it was like May, and Flex, was just dropping bombs after bombs after bombs. That was really the moment, because I really fought to get to Jamaica. I fought to even get in the studio after, the entire incident, in Club New York, because BMG wanted to drop me, and I might have never came out with an album. This is, 1999.
After the incident?
After the incident, so by the time I got to Jamaica, I'll tell you what was happening in Jamaica. In Jamaica, I was fasting. I was fasting because, I'm a spiritual person. I've always been a spiritual person. So what was happening for me in my life at that time was a miracle, because that incident in Club New York almost ended my career. And, I would have just went back to Brooklyn, and I would have been, nobody, and all I used to pray for is, I know that I defended myself, I defended my friends, and my prayer to God.
All right, so Shyne,
yeah,
when that happened,
yeah,
when that incident, you allegedly did that,
yeah.
did you feel as if you were in fear for your life, or was you protecting your friends?
I was in fear for my life.
What would make you think, in top of the world, you in there with Pop,
because
you in there with J-Lo?
Scar, listen, no, Scar, who was the instigator, I know Scar from Brooklyn. Those are my guys. I didn't really have a problem with them. That wasn't my beef. That was Puff's issue. They had a problem with Puff for whatever reason. I don't know what their problem was with Puff. I'm not saying that it was a legitimate problem, but
So
that wasn't my problem.
what I'm saying to you is,
Scar, Nino, and the entire Brooklyn crowd was in Club New York. I seen them. It was all love. But when they started arguing with Puff, I know what these Brooklyn guys are capable of. I know what Scar is capable of. I knew what Nino was capable of. I know my charger. I know what happens once these arguments start. When these arguments start, it becomes a problem. I'm just trying to charge my phone.
What I'm saying to you,
So
Shyne.
once Scar starts saying, I'm gonna kill you, you DOA, once he starts talking crazy, yeah, I became afraid for my life. I know what happens, once he says, it's about to happen, it's about to happen. And I seen somebody reach for a gun, and I reached for my weapon, and I defended my friends and myself, because once he starts firing, once whoever else pulls out a gun starts firing, it doesn't stop there.
So Shyne, you don't think I'm over here with Puffy? There's two ways to think of it. I'm over here with Puffy. I'm over here with J-Lo, the biggest, richest stars in the world. This shit gonna be on CNN? Or do you just react at the time like, yo, I got it?
I'm thinking about saving my life. I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6.
Mm-hmm. And how did Puffy take it at the moment? Did he take it as, yo, you fucking my shit up doing that? Or thank you for saving my life?
I think for him it was more, you know, he's a corporation, and he's just thinking about the corporation. So obviously, you know, something like that affects the corporation uh, terribly. Um, but at the time, I was just thinking life or death. You know,
See,
so
because I
so
didn't know the
we didn't
story,
have
but
we didn't have an opportunity for him to say thank you for saving my life, for saving Jennifer's life, you know, for saving all our lives, because he was thinking about, you know, the corporation, and you know, that put the corporation
do you
in
think he
jeopardy.
thinks you jumped the gun? Do you think he thinks you jumped the gun?
You know, you'd have to ask him that. You could ask me, do I think I jumped the gun? And my answer is
Do you
absolutely
think?
not. Absolutely not.
And so now you in trial, one of the most legendary trials in the world.
Yeah.
You fighting for your life, Puffy fighting, Wolf fighting, and we ain't got to go into detail, but I feel like you felt like the other lawyers was like, yo, my guy ain't do it. Maybe that guy did it. That's the word on the street.
That's absolutely what it was, you know, and you know, Puff apologized. He did apologize to me for that, you know, when we met in Paris. And you know, he did say, you know, he could have handled it better, but he was under a lot of pressure, you know, from the lawyers, you know, to throw me under the bus. And that's exactly what, you know, Benjamin Brafman and Johnny Cochran and the entire Dream Team, that was their position, you know, because again, Puff was a corporation, you know, Puff, you know, is a $500 million corporation. And so nobody is going to sacrifice the corporation, you know, for anyone else. You know,
And
it's
I'm
better to
taking that
sacrifice
J-Lo
someone
was
else for the
terrified.
corporation.
I'm
Huh?
taking that J-Lo was terrified.
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously it was a terrifying moment for all of us. I was terrified because I know Scar. You know, rest his soul. You know, he's dead now, but I know Scar. I know these guys from Brooklyn. I knew what they were capable of. So that was not me trying to, you know, flex. That was not me trying to demonstrate bravado. That was not me trying to get a name. That was me really trying to, you know, see my mother the next day. And I was always taught that it's better to be tried by 12 than carried by 6.
And you know what's crazy though, Shyne, is like, I believe consistency is key. And I
Yeah.
believe you judge a person by their action. And if something happens and it's something real questionable of anybody, I go back to that same person and I say, well, how this person's been every other time? And then I got to judge him by that. So like, so you, after 10 years in jail, after being in Belize, changing your life, you saying the same shit. So why
Yeah.
wouldn't I believe you by
Yeah.
saying you was in fear for your life?
Yeah.
And that's why you did that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
you go to
And
jail.
one of the things I want to put in perspective is, you know, that's part of it, but the most important part of it, which I think, you know, you told me before we got on here, we're going to inspire the world. You know, I see a lot of darkness, you know, a lot of destructive forces are out there right now that have a platform that are misleading, you know, our people. And, you know, I think that I'm the embodiment of integrity, because the way I behaved after my arrest and during my trial is very important, because there's nothing more that district attorney wanted than a conviction of Sean Puffy Combs. There was nothing
And
more.
I'm going to go on the record saying, I think Puffy would have killed himself if he would have, and this is on Revolt TV.
Yeah.
So they could
But
call
but
me, they could
but
argue with me,
but
they could
but
do whatever. I'm going to go on record and think Puff Daddy was not going to do 10 years in jail, 20 years in jail.
Yeah.
He was not.
But I'm just saying that I want to inspire the new generation that there is such a thing as integrity, there is such a thing as morals, as values, as principles. And I prefer, you know, you could argue that if I were to, because I guess there's another rapper that just told on his entire crew, and he's out now, and he gets, you know, a bunch of streams, and, you know, millions of people tune into his live. I prefer to be, you know, penniless. You know, I prefer to just have a regular life and be a regular 9 to 5 or whatever. And have
now let's get to that. Hold on. Let's get to this, Sean. Let's get to this, Sean. It's great that you opened up that window. When you was coming up in the game, you was calling yourself Shyne Poe, as if you were influenced by Al Poe from Harlem.
Yeah.
And I never understood that. And after you did your time and people took the stand against you and all that, did you ever look at that and say, maybe this is a mistake calling myself Shyne Poe?
You know, in retrospect, I guess you could make that argument.
It's a big argument.
You can make that argument. You know, I didn't go out like
you didn't
Al
realize the ramifications.
But I didn't go out like Al Poe. But I didn't go out like Al Poe.
Oh no,
I didn't go out like Al Poe.
No.
So I took the name. You know, I got the name Al Poe, or I got the name Shyne Poe from one of Al Poe's girlfriends, who was my girlfriend. And she gave me the name Poe because, you know, she thought, you know, that I was just like him. You know, I was young, millionaire, you know, from the streets. And, you know, that's how I got that name. You know, so it kind of stuck with me. And,
so as you reflect back, you realize that the Poe.
But you know, there's Edgar Allan Poe as well, the poet. So, you know,
you heard it here. This is a jumper moment.
Yeah, I didn't pattern my life.
Edgar Allan Poe. God damn,
I didn't pattern my life.
That story first.
Yeah.
I wish you would have just said, "Whoa, wait a minute. I'm like the great narrator, Edgar Allan Poe."
Yeah. No, I'm transparent. I'm not gonna sell you anything.
Sean, I've gone to visit other rappers other than yourself in jail, and they've all been in protective custody. They all been different, man. I went to see you on Rikers Island, and you had a different R&B rap super. Tell your wife I love her, and I respect her, and I want to send her a gift. No, because you know I got a wife for life. I'm not trying to throw shit in the game.
Not at all.
I'm trying to paint the picture, right? But I respect your wife and your family to the highest level.
No, this is in the book. This is in
history.
The TV film.
So I walk in Rikers Island. You tell me to come.
Yeah.
And you got an R&B who sells millions of records sitting on your lap in the middle of Rikers Island, and the prisoners are all over, and I'm there with you, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, Sean, he's just in jail. He's in here like it's the streets. And what was it like? Was it different for you when you went up north than it was in Rikers Island? Because in Rikers Island, I seen you. It was a joke.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. You know, being incarcerated, there's nothing about being incarcerated that's a joke. It's a nightmare. You know, it really is a nightmare. No matter how you slice it and you dice it, you know. But I'm a warrior, and I conditioned myself, you know, that one day I was gonna wake up from this nightmare. So really what I did is I just made the best of my nightmare. But I was living a nightmare, make no doubt about it. You know, but I stayed in prayer. I was a very spiritual person. I'm still a very spiritual person. I pray as much as I did then. I'm just a little bit more about actions, more about my charity work, You know, I have a charity, the Mesopotamian Human and Social Development Foundation. You know, we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, you know, helping people, you know, who are impoverished, single mothers, elderly people, drug addicts. So that period was a nightmare. Make no doubt
Oh, we
about
get
it.
into that, right? I want to know.
Going up north was a nightmare because I was further away from my family. But even when I was on Rikers, I didn't even take visits. I didn't even want to see anybody. I didn't even want anybody to see me in that position. The only reason I had you come to see me and I had that R&B superstar come to see me is to show love to my fellow comrades, you know, to let them, to lift their spirits, because I knew the joy and the happiness that would bring to them. And that's what that was really about, you know. So,
Okay,
Shyne,
Shyne, you go upstate, right?
Yeah.
Most people go upstate, they either wild for the night or they become Muslim.
Yeah.
You become Jewish.
Yeah.
How did? Please
you know,
explain to me.
my great.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I want this. This is a fuck a Jopra moment. This is a Malcolm X moment. Like we in jail and Malcolm turned into a Muslim. How did you turn into like a Hasidic Jewish?
Yeah. Well, you know, initially, my parents, you know, my great great grandparents, are Jews from Portugal, Lindo, right? Lindos. They went to Jamaica, and they were ship magnates from Jamaica, and then they came to Belize. You know, my great grandfather Rudolph and George Lindo, and then we go all the way back to David Lindo and to Ephraim Lindo, back in the 1800s, coming from Portugal, going to Jamaica, and then coming to Belize. So that's a part of me, you know. That's a part of my truth. So maybe that's
how did you
why
discover this, Shyne? Shyne, how did you discover it? Everybody,
it was just a part of family. It was just a part of family understanding. Like,
so before you even went to jail, there was people in your family was Jews.
Well, not Jews like, you know, the Jews on Eastern Parkway, but just like Jews, like regular Jews in Tel Aviv, who are Jews, and Jews in New York who are Jews, but they don't observe anything Jewish, and they're only Jewish because of, you know, their great grandparents.
I seen you with the hat myself. You came to my show in Paris.
Well, that was
hat
after,
and the long jacket with the curls.
That was after I came out of incarceration, because again, like you said, you judge someone.
Shyne, I thought you caught a lick or something. I thought you met some Jews in there that was billionaires.
No, that was my truth. Listen, you know, I changed my name to Moses. You know, Moses was married to an Ethiopian woman, by the way. You know, Moses is from Egypt. Egypt is in North Africa. So it's really not far-fetched that you have African Jews.
No, I believe your truth. I got friends that are black Jews from
Egypt. But that's what I'm trying to say. You know, being a Jew is not necessarily a race. You know, being a Jew is a religion. You know, and a belief.
Well, you know, if you feed into what the streets think, right?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks Shyne comes home from 10 years like Tupac and just bombs on everybody, and he's gonna go crazy. And then you come out and you're changed. And it's a beautiful thing, Shyne.
Well, no, you forgetting the period. There was a period where I was going. Yeah, I'm charging my phone, so it keeps falling. But there was a period where I was going back and forth a little bit. You know, I had some stuff to say about some people when I first came out. You know, but you know, I definitely regret that. You know, more so, you know, than sticking with the name Poe that I was given, you know, by Alpo's girlfriend. I definitely regret all that negative energy. You know, I think I should have came out and I should have focused on making music, and just focused on, you know, reestablishing, and securing my legacy. I think I spent way too much time worrying about other people. And I should have just focused on myself. But what happened is I ended up going to Israel. After I came out, I did a multi-million-dollar deal with Def Jam. LA Reid flew down to Belize on a private plane. Just want to say one love to all the Belizeans watching me out there, because you got a lot of Belizeans in the States, in Los Angeles,
I love the
in New York,
Belizeans.
in
I love the
Chicago,
Belizeans.
in Atlanta. You got the Garifuna crowd, real heavy and real strong, the Belizean Garifuna people. You got the Belizean artists. We got some hot Belizean artists out there doing their thing. King Kosa, check them out. Big Bang, check them out. Those are two of the biggest right now out there in the States trying to do their thing. OT Genesis is a Belizean. He's a Garifuna Belizean, so maximum respect to him. But I came out, I went to Israel just, to go for vacation for Rosh Hashanah, which is something that, I had been saying for the last 10 years that, next year in Jerusalem. So I didn't really come out to go be a Hasidic Jew or to become ultra-Orthodox. I just came out to go visit Jerusalem. It's the Holy Land for everybody. It's the Holy Land for Catholics. It's the Holy Land for Muslims. It's the Holy Land for everybody. And I just, wanted to touch the Holy Land. And when I went there and I seen them kids that look just like me, because you got a lot of Jews in Israel, that are Sephardic Jews from Iraq, from Iran, from Ethiopia, from Egypt, that look just like me. And I seen them kids running around with them little things coming down their skull. It just spoke to me, and, we see a lot of people suffering from mental illness, a lot of rappers breaking down mentally right now. I was very concerned that after 10 years that I would preserve my mental health and I would preserve, my state of mind. And I think it was important. That journey was important. Those years that I did in Israel were very important, which is leading to where we at now, where I'm running for the House of Representatives. And I'm going from, being in trouble with the law to making laws that will not oppress the very few, will not oppress the marginalized, will not oppress, those people who are impoverished and who don't have means to do better for themselves. So they might make a mistake and go and commit crimes in order to feed themselves and feed their families. And so, as Ari Melber was talking about on his show, the justice system punishes them to a level where they could never recover from that, and they're criminalized in perpetuity. I'm in a position now where I can legislate and create policy at the root to prevent anyone from even being in a position where they're so desperate to commit crimes. But if they were to happen to commit a crime and make a mistake due to whatever factors or whatever influences, I can make sure that they have a path to redemption, using myself as the greatest example. After I came back to Belize 10 years ago, the first thing I did was I went to the children's home and I went to visit the kids in the hostel. I went to visit the kids whose parents couldn't take care of them because they were too out of control. And I went to talk to them and try to inspire them and try to lift them up. I went to the prisons to try to say to my brothers and my sisters in the prisons that, there's a better way. And I'll be there for them to support them. That's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. I've been helping the musicians in Belize out of my pocket, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm a living, walking redemption song, redemption story. And so it's important for me, as someone who said, "There, America, I'm only what you made me." It's important for me, who sung all these songs about systematic oppression and a system that doesn't work for the masses. I'm in a position right now to make sure that, at least in Belize, I can create policy and legislation that's going to work for the impoverished, that's going to work for the marginalized and the vulnerable in our society. So that's what Israel did for me. Israel gave me the opportunity to breathe. I sat in a cell for 10 years. That's a nightmare. And I sat in the cell for something that I didn't do. I sat in the cell for trying to defend myself and my friends. And self-defense, they have stand your ground laws in Florida where you from, or where you living now, Joe. Where if somebody tries to hurt you, you're allowed to defend yourself. So imagine sitting there for 10 years for defending yourself and your friends and watching your life, your career. Even though I was lucky to put out a #1 album, it's still not being out there performing in front of tens of thousands of people, doing what I do. I love making music. I love
They
performing.
took time. They took time. See, time is the most precious thing in the world. And they took and that's why they invented prisons, to take time from people. You understand? And like, and I believe everything you say. And I believe you change. And I'm rooting for you to win the election. You deserve it. You have a beautiful family. You have a beautiful spirit. And the reason why I walked them through this, and I don't do this with everybody. Everybody got different stories. Everybody ain't as real as you, Shyne. I'm keeping it real. Like you did. Like a real man. You believe in your own Israel.
And we've been friends.
What you believe
you
in.
Got to tell them we've been friends. We've been friends for 20 years.
We've been friends before you went to jail.
That's what I'm saying, for 20 years. Since we met in 99, I guess 21 years.
And I love you. What you want me to tell somebody? But I needed you to understand that, because even me, somebody like myself, I was a bad guy before I rapped. And there's people in the Bronx, there's people, police, who believe that no way this guy changed. No way this guy, and I've been screaming at everybody, I changed. I'm a nice guy. I used to be with 100 guys. Now I'm with my wife and my daughter. And they still don't believe me, right? I got friends who are powerful, who are rich, or politicians, that their friends tell them in their ear, watch it with this guy. This guy is, and they say, you can't stop me from loving this guy. This guy's a good man. He gives back every chance. He looks out for his community. So I know where you're coming from. So that's why I wanted to explain to people the whole thing. Not to glorify the past or what happened, but to show that someone can honestly change their life and become a beautiful person, a good man, a family man, and even better yet, a politician that can actually make laws that affects the people, the common people. And that's why I wanted you to tell your story, not for nothing else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I definitely, I hope that, as you said, we can inspire this generation to believe in principles, in morals, and values, and integrity. It really does matter. Character really does matter. You know, who you are as a person really does matter. And that's why I think we've been friends for so long. Because I've been, my battery's going out again. I've been this guy with integrity throughout every period of my life, no matter what I've been through. I've been the same guy. And I think that's very important. And that's what has led me to the point I'm at in my life now, where I can lift my nation up. The same way I see the beautiful work you do for Puerto Rico, when they're going through their difficulties, you're always there. I see you getting on the jet, you and Jay and the Rock Nation and everybody. And that's what life is really about. Life is about service to others. And, I thank hip-hop. I thank hip-hop music for making me who I am. Because as a legislator, as a leader, I thank hip-hop for that. Hip-hop taught me how to be a CEO. Taught me, I own my own publishing company since I was 19 years old. I started off with a joint venture, then I got a administrative deal, and I own my own publishing company. I own my own record label, my own production company. Hip-hop taught me how to be an entrepreneur, which is what I'm teaching young people in Belize.
When do you run? When you run for office? What date?
November 4th.
I'm coming
2020.
down there, Shyne. I'm
Yeah,
coming down there.
we open the airports October 1st. If anybody wants to donate, they could donate to my PayPal, Shyne Barrow Mess Up 2020 at gmail.com.
I'm coming. Say that again. Say that again, Shyne.
Shyne Barrow Mess Up. That's MESOP 2020 at gmail.com. You know, but again, it's all about
Shyne,
character.
I'm coming down
integrity.
there. I'm coming down there if you allow me to. And I want to put up posters. I want to talk to the people. I want to shake hands.
I need you to come down with that bag. I need you to bring some bags with you. Because,
I'm coming with the bags. I'm coming with the bags.
Make sure you knock on all the doors. Tell all your friends.
Y'all know you was a change man.
I see you out there with Husky Daddy.
I thought you was a change man, man. You're shaking me down.
You got it. No, I'm just telling you. You got it. You know, Obama,
Shyne,
Biden, all the guys that run for president, they got to come down with the finances. We got to make sure that we have the operation strong.
And I'm going to help you have people donate to your shit. There's no doubt about it. I'm coming down, and Khaled is in the things, and I'm going to try to gas him to come too. And we're going to go to Belize, and we're going to put up posters for you. Look at what Khaled just said. Shyne the real one. Yo, we coming, bro. It's nothing better than having. We bring the bags.
I just saw him in Jamaica. I saw him in Jamaica last year.
We coming to stand right
Shout
next to you.
Shout out to Buju Banton.
Buju Banton, yeah. When Buju Banton came home, you know.
Yes. Yeah, respect to Buju Banton.
You called me and you said, yo, Joe, I'm out in Jamaica. And I said, Shyne, don't worry. And I plugged you right in with Khaled. And, you know, because you are family, we love you for life.
It was good to see Khaled. Yeah, it was good to see Khaled.
Yo, Shyne, let's keep in touch because my battery's wasting too. Let's keep in touch. And I'm coming down there. You need bags? We get bags. Promise. We'll get bags.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother.
I want to come in person. I want to see you win. I want to stand there and look at you win. That's what I want.
And it's going to be a great moment for hip-hop. It's going to be a great moment for hip-hop when I get elected to the House of Representatives, because that's what hip-hop is. Hip-hop is transformative. Hip-hop is transcendental. Look how many hip-hop billionaires we have. That's what we do. We're not just young black men that get shot in the back or they step on our knee, or they put their knees on our necks and they treat us like animals. No, we're legislators, you know, we're CEOs, you know, we're business owners. And so this is going to be a great moment for hip hop for me to get elected to the House of Representatives and show the other side.
My brother, I love you. God bless you.
Thank
Please
you for
tell
having
your
me,
wife
my
I
brother.
love
God
her,
bless
your
you.
family, and I'll be in Belize.
Everybody visit Belize. I encourage everybody to come to Belize when Joe is coming to Belize.
Oh, no,
everybody, you're welcome.
Once again, hold up, Shyne. One more before we go, because you know this is the biggest show in the game. Yo, Shyne, tell them how to donate to the PayPal.
That's SHYNE BARROW MESOP 2020 at gmail.com.
Shyne, I love you, my brother. Thank you for everything. Thank you for transparency.
I love you too, my brother.
Thank you for all the years of friendship.
We didn't even get to talk about your artist, Angelica Villa, who used the Bonnie and Clyde song. Come on, man.
Yo, Shyne, thank you for clearing that.
You got to get me.
Clearing that.
You got to get me back on here so we can talk about music. I want to come back on September 26th so we can talk about the Shyne album.
Let's do it. September 26th, we come back with the Shyne album and everything else. I love you, my brother. This shit
God bless you, my brother.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.
You don't know who I know. Do say Friday. Do say. This is the biggest show in the game, man. I'm tired of it. We're going to keep going till we get that bag. The whole shit was a Joker moment. And the man done changed. And you can't change. It's called redemption. It's called, hey, guess what? I was around the wrong people.